retriever. So let's go into the topic. Let's look at the meaning. So meaning of this unit is, in this previous unit you learned note taking, writing down important points during lectures or talk. So this unit goes further into listening comprehension, which means listening carefully so you can understand and collect important informations, and at the same time information retrieval, which means getting useful information from what you hear. So according to this unit, retrieval is not you looking for something that is lost, that has lost rather. Retrieval here is not you trying to recover from what you lost, or you trying to look for a database that you need at that particular instance, or that you are looking for. And this retrieval here is not like you going to a library and before a library to actually retrieve a rare book. No, but the retrieval that we are trying to discuss about here, it is getting useful information from what you hear. You are able to hear something. Listening is when you hear. Comprehension is when you understand what you hear. Now, retrieval, it is when you are able to get the useful information. So you getting a useful information from what you entirely hear, it is called this information retrieval. So for an example, we are taking GST101 class currently now, and I'm talking. You guys are listening. So I'm talking, you guys are listening. After the class, after you are able to understand everything I have said, there are some informations that you are able to get from everything I said. So all those information you are able to get, they are called information retrieval. So all those informations you are able to get, all of them are just from that information retrieval. So you understand. So listening carefully so you can understand and collect important information, that is for the listening and comprehension. Why? For information retrieval, getting useful information from what you hear. So let's continue. Today, students receive informations from sources like lectures in the school, radio news, television programs, YouTube videos, online classes and podcasts. So these are sources whereas students can actually retrieve or get information from. So we are talking about places where students receive information from. So students receive information from lectures in the school, from radio news, from television programs, from YouTube videos, from online classes, like that. So let's look at an example. A serious student must know how to listen and pick useful information instead of just hearing sound. A serious student must know how to listen and pick useful information instead of just hearing sound. So as a serious student, you need to learn how to listen and pick useful information in any of the lectures. Maybe you are attending a radio news, maybe you are attending a television program, maybe you are watching a television program, you are watching a YouTube videos. As a serious student, you must know how to listen. You listening is a skill on its own. You able to comprehend what you listen to is a skill on its own. You able to pick a useful information, which is the information retriever, is also another skill entirely. So instead of just hearing the sound, instead of you just doing the follow up, just hearing what I'm saying, just hearing what the lecturer is saying, or just hearing what the online classes, what they are talking about, let's try as much as possible to pick useful informations. And if you notice, all those important informations, all those important ideas, all those main points, the tutors, the lecturers, they used to repeat them, if you notice. So to let you know that those particular infos, those particular points, they are very useful information. So what are the objectives of this unit? So after studying this unit, we should be able to identify types of information you listen. You should be able to retrieve important information while you listen. So that is the objective for this unit. So let's go into the main text. So let's look at the types of information retrieved through listening. Types of information you can retrieve through listening. So in academic life, information mainly comes in three forms. In academic life, information comes mainly in three forms. So the first one, instruction. Information comes from instruction. The kind of information we are talking about here is not just any information. We know what is called a data, and you know what is called an information. So an information is a data that has been processed. So in academic life, we are talking about academic life, not a general life. Under your studies, your schooling, that one is academic. So we're talking about your academic this night. Under the first one is instructions. So instructions tells you what to do. Instructions tells you what to do. They usually come as a command, as a step, as a procedure, as a process. So these are the four ways. These are the four ways instructions can come from. So these are the four ways instructions can come from. They can come as a command, they can come as a step, they can come as a procedures. At the same time, they can come as a process. So a Nigeria example of this is a lecturer says submit your assignment before Friday. So this is a command. Yeah, this is a command. It says submit your assignment before Friday. There's a deadline. So an instruction is given as a command that you student, please submit your assignment before Friday. Which means after Friday, your assignment might not be reviewed. Second one, a lab instructor explains experiment step. A lab instructor explains experiment step. This one can be under steps. It can be under steps because the lab instructor is taking his time or her own time to explain experiment step. For an example, you want to titrate a chemistry practical titration. You want to titrate, and a lab instructor is telling you that don't mix acid with base. Put acid inside a conical flask, put a base inside a conical flask, then use your pipette use your pipette and your burette. Make everything available before you start the titration. So a lab instructor is explaining this kind of experiment steps to you. That is under step. That is not a command, but it is steps. Then another one is a WAEC invigilator says write your name before answering question. Write your name before answering question. That lab instructor explains experiment steps, can be under steps, can be under procedures. Yeah, it can be under procedures also. But this a WAEC invigilator says write your name before answering question. That one is under process. Write your name before answering any question. Yeah, that can also be under command. An invigilator can say write your name before answering questions. It's not telling you to read the instruction. Instead, it's telling you directly to write your name before answering question. So you must listen carefully so you don't make mistakes. When they are giving an instruction, telling you what to do, try as much as possible to listen carefully so we don't make mistakes. An example, you can be inside the exam hall and they will tell you that don't log in yet. Let's try as much as possible to listen to the instruction because there's a way they used to send the exam question at once. So once they tell you don't log in yet, it means the exam question has not been has not been sent. So which means if you log in, you will not be able to see it. And at the same time, if you log in, it might give you another person, it might bring another course entirely. And if you click on it, the course is not meant for you. So if you hear don't log in until particular time, let's try as much as possible not to log in. So all of these are just instructions. All of these are under instructions that is telling you what to do. So the second one is direction. We are talking about the types of information retrieved through listening. So the first one is instruction, the second one is directions. Directions shows where to go or how to react somewhere. So direction shows where to go or how to react somewhere. So in Nigeria, example of this is a senior student directing you to the faculty office. As the first example. Second one is asking for the way to Unilag Senate building. While the third one is a driver telling you where to stop inside the Lagos campus shuttle. So under this part, we are talking about the types of information retrieved through listening. These are kind of information that you can retrieve when you listen. You can make use of. They are very important. And once you are able to retrieve them, the second time, the third time you are coming back there, you don't need to ask anybody again. Yeah, an example now. You enter into the now school. You enter into the school compound VI as a newbie. When you get there, you are asking for a faculty office. Maybe you're asking for faculty of social science, for an example. And faculty of social science is the only faculty that is at the back of the school, like not closer to other faculties. Is at the other side of the school. So now, if you did not ask, there's no way you'll be able to get there, because there's no board, there's no signboard that is directing that this is the faculty of social science. So you're asking for direction. You're asking for a direction, and maybe you met a senior student, or you met someone that you asked that where is the faculty of social science, and the person directed you that, yeah, once you get to this place, turn to your right, turn to your left, enter this place, take the staircase, first floor. That is the faculty office. Now you've actually been able to retrieve an information from what you listen to. You were able to retrieve this information, a useful information from what you listen to. So that information you were able to retrieve. Tomorrow, if you are coming back to the school, there's no way you can forget, except you were unable to make use of them. But if you make use of those information, there's no way you will come back to the school the second day and you will forget. So another one is asking for the way to Unilag Senate building. Yeah, if you enter into Unilag, it's a very big school, a very big campus. There is no way you will get there without asking. So third one, a driver telling you where to stop inside the Lagos campus shuttle. Let's use VI as an example. You have students that comes from all the way from this Songotedo route, and you have people that come from the mainland. It's not the same direction that we give to someone that is coming from Songotedo and someone that is coming from the mainland. I will not give the same direction, because they have different routes. So if a driver if you ask a driver that where am I dropping, maybe you are coming from the mainland and you enter bus that is going to Balinde. If you ask the driver that how do I get to VI Open University, there's a way the driver will tell you that, yeah, enter this so bus that will take you there, enter a hotel bus, so then you are dropping at Open University, or enter Bonny campus. There's a way the driver will tell you. And the second day you are coming to that particular school, to that VI school, you will not be able to, you will never even ask again, because you were able to retrieve a useful information from the way you listen to the driver. So that is basic examples on these directions. So missing direction can make you late or lost. Yeah, that is another disadvantage. If you ask someone that doesn't know the road, here in Lagos, instead of them to say I don't know, they will want to say just pass like this. So a missing direction can make you late or lost. So that is why at the same time we need to be careful. At least ask like two people. If you have someone that says ask another person, don't go and follow the person's direction, because the person has to think about it first. So we've talked about instruction, we've talked about directions. So let's go to the third one. The third one is facts. Facts. So facts are true piece of information. Facts are true piece of information, and they include date, they include statistics, they include definitions, they include scientific informations, they include dates, they include statistics, and they include definition, and they also include scientific information. So these are facts, these are factual things. They are true piece of information. Is like you asking me today's date. Today's date is March 21st, 2026. So I can't tell you today's date is March 20 because it is not true. There's no way I can lie about today's date to you. Although there are some people that did not know, but there's no way you can lie about dates. Let's say today is March 21st, then you ask me for today's date, I'm telling you that today is March 10 or today is April 4. Even if you are unable to find out immediately, but there's no way you will believe if I tell you that today is April 4, because you know about yesterday's date, but because it's not coming to your mind or you find it difficult to remember, that's why you're asking. So all these are true piece of information. Then a statistics. What do you understand by a statistic? Statistics is like you crushing numbers to make sense of data, like you trying to understand some particular trends and predictions. So statistics, they are true piece of information. It's as if you want to crush a number like 5 divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. If I should tell you that 5 divided by 5 is 2, there's no way you will believe. Even if you can believe at that instant, you will make your calculation yourself. So all of these are true piece of information that cannot be ignored. So definitions, definition also, they are true piece of information that you need to be able to retrieve after listening to. For an example now, what is fact? I want to define fact. Fact are true piece of information. I cannot say I want to define fact. I should say fact is a way to give wrong calculations. Like things that doesn't connect, it is not possible. So definitions, it means the real meaning of a particular word or the true meaning of a particular word. So the fourth one is scientific informations. Scientific informations are facts. The reason why they are facts is because they have been observed. They have gone through the scientific method. They have been observed. Their problem definitions has been listed. Hypothesis has followed up. They were able to experiment on the hypothesis. They did conclusion before they are able to give their theorem. So you cannot imagine an information passing through that 6 steps and you want it to be wrong. No. So they are always factual. And the Nigeria example is Nigeria gained independence in 1960. That's a fact, a true piece of information. Crude oil is Nigeria major export. This is fact. I don't know if it's still fact, because if it is still fact, our fuel is not supposed to be increasing. But according to this, crude oil is Nigeria major export. Then the third one is population statistic mentioned in a geographical lecture. You are given a population statistic in a geography lecture. An example, say the population of Nigeria is over 200 million, over 250 million now. That is just a population statistic. So there's no way you can say that one is wrong, because if you say it is wrong, there's no way you can do the calculation yourself. So facts are usually tested directly in exam. Facts are things that have been tested, that has been confirmed. They are not just called facts for fact's sake, but they are called facts because they are true piece of information. It's just like me asking you, what is your date of birth? I mean, what year, what month are you born? You can't give me a wrong information, because it is something that is factual. It is something you are aware of. If you tell me that this is particular month, this is particular day, and I start arguing with you that no, it's a lie, you will not ask me that are you there when they give birth to me? So to tell you that all these particular notable things are true, they are true piece of information, and you are able to retrieve those informations because you listen well. So let's go to another part entirely. We've talked about facts, we talked about instruction, and we talked about the directions. So those are the types of information retrieved through listening. So let's go to another subtopic, which is listening for general impression. So listening for general impression. How do we listen for general impression? So sometimes listening is not about instructions or fact alone. So they are taking us back to this and they are adding it to it. Listening for general impression. Sometimes listening is not about instructions or facts alone. So it's not only about when you listen about for just instruction or for just facts. You must also understand the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying. So, and that is called listening for general impression, which means understanding the main idea, forming your own understanding, not copying blindly. This is just a breakdown of what listening for general impression means. You are able to understand the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying. For an example, at the end of this class, I talked about listening comprehension and information retrieval. The ability for you to pick up something like okay, let me say I said yes, so person should give me a brief summary of what I said today about this particular course. The ability for you to start from the beginning and able to end where means you actually understand the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying. So you are listening for general impression, you are listening for general impression, like meaning that you are able to understand the main idea, you are able to form your own understanding, not copying blindly. You might not say it word for words, but you being able to form your own understanding, you being able to use your own example and not copying blindly means you are listening for general impression. So sometimes listening is not just about instruction and fact alone. So we listen for general impression. You make sure you understand the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying. You make sure you understand the main ideas, and if you are able to form your own understanding. So let's continue. Steps to get general impression. What are the steps? What are the steps to get a general impression? So number one, you listen carefully. That is the first thing. You listen carefully. That is the number one. Number two, you write major points only. Write major points only. Number three, you connect the ideas together. Then number four, you form your own conclusion. Steps to get a general impression on something. At first, the first thing is you listen carefully. If you have been following up with this, if you have been following up with this particular modules, you will see that everything we are talking about here is listening. They are making it the core pattern for you to do, like the main important thing for you as a student to have. You must be able to listen carefully before anything, before you understanding, before you able to note down, before you able to do note taking, before you able to start reading on your own, before you able to understand. You need to listen carefully. That is just the first general way to get a general impression. You must listen carefully. Anything that can distract you, push them away. Anything that can make you not to be able to listen carefully, anything like a barrier, let's try as much as possible to avoid it. So that is the first step. Listen carefully. The second step is write major points only. This is where note taking comes in. You are able to write major points only. The major, not the minor points, but the major points, things that matters. Not as you are you are jotting down now you are doing a note taking now. Everything I'm saying from head to toe is what you are jotting down. No, that is not a good way. That is not a way to get a general impression. The way to get a general impression is writing the major points only the points that matters. You can write them down using abbreviation, you can write them down using symbols. I think in our class, there was one of our class that we were talking about how to actually write all these main points down. So learn how to shorten all those main points, shorten them, use abbreviations, use symbols that you understand later after the class. Then you connect the ideas together. Connect those ideas together. Then you form your own conclusion. So when you're able to form your own conclusion, it makes you to have this kind of confident understanding in what you have done. You are able to form your own conclusion. So a Nigeria example is, imagine a lecturer discussing shifting cultivation in agriculture. The general impression may be shifting farming works better in rural areas with small populations. It is not always harmful to the environment. Other activities like illegal logging may destroy forest more. Farming method depends on local and population pressure. So this is your general impression for. He said, the example says, imagine a lecturer discussing shifting cultivation. What does shifting cultivation mean? In agriculture, shifting cultivation means when you plant maize this year, next year you plant yam, next year you plant another thing, before you go back to maize, maybe like next 4 years. So you are doing a shifting cultivation. So the general impression may be shifting farming works better in rural area with small population. Maybe it is because they have small population. That's like a general impression. The explanation was not made very clear, but you are getting a general impression because you are able to listen carefully. Another one is, it is not always harmful to the environment. Yeah, maybe it is not always harmful to the environment. The third one is, other activities like illegal logging may destroy forest more. And the fourth one is, farming method depends on location and population pressure. Why? Meaning there is no single answer. Agriculture depends on conditions. So if you look at what this lecturer said here and the general impression, there's nothing connecting them. So which means there's no single answer here. Agriculture depends on conditions. Let me say it again. A lecturer is discussing about shifting cultivation in agriculture. Sure you get. And a general impression as a student now maybe we are saying maybe under maybe shifting farming works better in rural area with small population. That's not correct. It is always harmful to the environment. That one too is not correct. Other activities like illegal logging may destroy forest more. There's nothing like illegal logging there, so it's not still correct. Farming method depends on location and population pressure. It's still not correct. So there's no single answer, which means agriculture depends on condition. Although you are following up, for you to be able to get this general impression means you are following up. Yeah, you just want to connect the ideas, but at the same time you're able to form your conclusion that no, this doesn't make sense. There's no answer in this thing that I just pulled down. So let's go to under the conclusion. Listening is an academic survival skills rather. So listening is an academic survival skills. So a good university student must know how to. What are the things a good university student must know how to do? The first one is listen actively. A good university student must know how to listen actively. Second one, how to pick instructions. It is very important that a good university student must know how to pick instructions, how to understand directions, how to remember facts, how to form independent understanding. Yeah, you are in a university, you are no more in secondary school, whereas you have a class teacher or you have a classroom teacher that will come to the school. Sorry for the disconnection. So I was talking about what a good university student must know how to under this listening and comprehension and information retrieval. So I said, as a good listener, as a good university student rather, listening is an academic survival skills. When you're able to listen, yeah, when you're able to listen carefully, it helps in your surviving skills. So as a good student, you must be able to listen actively. What does that mean? So far you are in the environment of your studies, make your ear dey stretch, like able to pick things actively. Not until when they say things 3 times, say things 4 times. No. They say, yeah, there's a practical that is going to go on for so time, for so things, for so department. Listen attentively so that you will not be coming back to be asking that, yeah, is it meant for business admin, is it meant for this admin, is this meant for this. That is because you were not able to listen attentively, or because you were not able to read the message very well. So let's try to be an active listener, be an active reader. If you see any information, we are talking about the university stuff now. If you see any information online, if you see any information in the group, the first thing you do before asking question is go through the information very well, read them very well before you start asking questions. So you listen actively. Let's try as much as possible to listen actively. When you are in the class, let your mind be there. Try as much as possible to put your mind there. When you are reading and you are hearing, maybe you are hearing from the TV section, you are using YouTube. Let's learn how to listen attentively. Then the second one is pick instructions. Yeah, this is where issues used to come from, especially when it comes to the exam stuff. Let's try as much as possible to listen to instructions. You might be older than the invigilator, you might be richer than the invigilator, you might be bigger than the invigilator, but that particular instance, what they are telling you to do, it is what you are supposed to do. Your own is just come, do what they told you to do, write your exam very well, submit and leave. Yeah, it's kind of normal for us to enjoy student life. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, when you are unable to pick those instructions, when you are unable to follow up with the instructions that are there, you will see that at the end it's not going to be a benefiting thing for you, and it is not going to affect others. Instead, it will affect you, because it is not others that didn't listen to instructions, it is you, and it is your exam, it is your result. So if they say do this way, don't log in at this particular time, or log in at this particular time, let's try as much as possible to do that. So third one is understand directions. Yes, let's try as much as possible to understand directions. Let's try to comprehend directions. Let's try to understand directions. Maybe you are inside the hall. Yeah, I'm still going to use the hall. You are given a direction on how to operate your computer, on how to operate the desktop, and you are being told that don't switch this thing off, or don't tamper with the wire at the back, because there is this particular network that they are using. They are not using data, they are using all these all these servers that are not connected to internet, that they will just give you questions through all these encrypted questions. Yeah. So all these encrypted questions they are not going to allow you to go into internet. Even their desktop, all of their computers are not connected to internet. So there's a way they load their questions, like, and all these HTML scripts. So there's a way they load it. So if they are telling you that don't switch off the computer, because if you switch it off it's going to restart again, or don't touch this particular wire, or when you sit down, press so thing, type your matric number, log in. Let's try as much as possible to understand this. Let's try as much as possible to understand the direction. Then the fourth one is remember facts. Remember facts. Facts in this aspect is remember what you read. Yeah. Remember what you read. What you read, sorry. What you've actually read about in your material, in your course material, your summary, in your past question. remember them. They are the facts that you need in this kind of position. They are the facts that can save you. Yeah. So let's try as much as possible to remember all of this. Then the last one is form independent understanding. Form independent understanding. This is an understanding that nobody will sit you down to tell you. It is just a basic understanding it's a basic understanding that you get yourself. There are some things that if they tell you now, I'm just using this as an example, if they should tell you this something today, there are things that if you hear today, it might be the second day or the third day that you're able to remember that, yes, this is what this person said. Then you're not able to understand it better. I don't know if that happens to any of us here. You will hear something today, but because maybe your mind is not there, you are not able to understand it clearly. You just be like, yes, 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 and you go. It is later on when your mind should go to that place, or you met something that connects you back to what the person said, you'll be able to now say that, yeah, this is what the person is saying. So let's try to form an independent understanding for ourselves. We are in a tertiary institution. Most of us are working, yeah, so we might not be chance like that. That is why you need to form an independent understanding for yourself. So it is very important. Know how to believe that, yeah, they said 5 divided by 5 as an example. How do you understand this? It's not just you pressing it on calculator that 5 divided by 5, but you understand it that 5, if you count 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and you want to divide it with 5, if you should cut them, you cut 5 with 5. How many times can 5 cut 5? It's just 1. So you creating that kind of independent understanding will make you remember things better. It will make you learn better, and it will increase your knowledge. So that is for the conclusion under this listening, comprehension, and information retrieval. So let's go to the summary. Let's go to the summary of what we've discussed today. So from the beginning, from the onset, I said listening comprehension means understanding information you hear. Yeah, we have been talking about listening and comprehension. Listening is when you listen. Comprehension is when you are able to understand what you listen to. So, but here, listening comprehension means understanding the information you hear. The listening and comprehension is joined together. So it means you understanding the information you hear. So information retrieval means collecting useful information. That is very important. Let's take note of it. Information retrieval means collecting useful information. In other lines, it might not mean the same thing like this. Yeah, on a normal ground, retrieval means when you're able to get something you lost back. That is the meaning of retrieval. But in here, it means you collecting useful information. You're able to collect, able to recall, able to collect useful information, able to remember useful information. Then I said we have 3 major information type. We have instruction. Instruction is what to do, and for the instruction, I said we have like command. We have command. We have steps. We have procedures. We have process. For direction is when you are told where to go, where or how to go. For an example for this, I said you're looking for faculty of social science now as a new student in the school. It's going to be difficult, or maybe you're even a returning student. And you want to go to the faculty of science. As at last semester, the faculty of science is inside the bungalow building there, but now they've changed their office. They are now in the former Lagos main office now, whereas you go up, take the first floor. Yeah, you go to the first floor rather. So all these informations on how to go, where to go, and how to go based on direction, it is part of the major type of information. So the third one is fact. Fact is a true piece of information. Yeah, when you are given a true piece of information, like dates, like statistics, like definitions, like scientific information. So all of these are true informations. So listening for general impression, it helps you to understand the main message. If you are listening for general information, it makes you to understand the main message. So I said for listening for general impression, you are able to understand the main point, the main idea. You are able to form your own understanding, and you are able to not copy blindly, because you are forming your own understanding. So it means you are not going to copy blindly. So good listener think critically instead of agreeing blindly. As a good listener, you think critically. Yeah, we talked about something like creative thinking and critical thinking. So as a good listener, you are able to think critically instead of you just agreeing blindly to things. So when you listen, you do a note taking, it gives an academic success. You are able to listen. While you listen, you are able to understand. You are comprehending. You are comprehending what you are listening to. At the end of everything, you are able to take notes. While doing that, you are taking notes, and you now possess another skill, which is information retrieval. Yeah, your academic success is going to be a very great one. So that is for this particular unit, which is learning comprehension and information retrieval. So let's go to practice questions. Let's make it interactive. Let's teach ourselves. Let's learn. Let's go to an interactive section. The first practice question here is: mention and explain 3 types of information retrieved through listening comprehension. So mention and explain 3 types of information retrieved through listening comprehension. You have to mention and you have to explain. So let's just do it 1-1. Just raise up your hand or mute yourself. Explain 1 type of information. Alright, Oluwadamilola. Good evening, ma. Alright, so which one do you want to talk about? Yeah, I can hear you, but the network. Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
We have and instructions tells us what to do. They usually come in form of command, step, procedure, and process.
Yeah. Alright.
For example, if the lecturers say, okay, submit your assignment on 1 before Friday, that's actually falls under command.
That's true. So you are using the example I gave. Can you use your own example? Try to use your own example. Yeah, use your example. Oh yeah. Okay. Next week what? Next week what? You're not being specific. Next week what? Cool. Next. Okay. It falls on command. Alright, can you, sorry for stressing you. Can you give me an example based on process? Process. Yeah. Yes, I'm getting you, ma. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can say it's a process because you have to write a report, right? So you have to take the process of writing a report before submitting. Alright. So thank you very much, Mama. Thank you. You've done well. So that means you are following up. Alright, Miss Inioluwa. Yeah, good evening, mommy. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's making sense. All right. Okay. So is that all you have to say, Miss Inioluwa? Okay. Maybe our landlord has tracked that. So let's continue from where she stopped. She was talking about fact. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you are welcome back. Okay, okay. So you were using an example from the Bible that says um, John, Matthew, and the rest. Yeah, you know, it's just like everything is still fact, but they cannot say the same thing because they are three different people. So you cannot expect three different people to say the same thing. There are ways they will craft out their own understanding on that. So talking about fact is a true piece of information, and we use date as an example. Date is a true piece of information. The statistic is a true piece of information. I use a statistic, whereas I said uh, I use 5 divided by 5 as an example. I said 5 divided by 5 is 1. That is a true piece of information. So okay, another person is raising up. John, Mr. John, can you tell us the last part? Good evening. Yes, sir. Okay. Heaven and earth, yeah. God created. Okay, okay, sir. Yes, I'm seeing that. Yeah, that makes sense. And the person, and you are able to give directions to the person that you turn to your left, take bus that is going to go there, drop at this, ask for this and this. Yeah. All right. All right. There's a question I wanted to ask you about the the genesis of a thing. Yeah. Let me ask. Can I ask you the question? Mr. John. All right. So I wanted to ask. In the creation of that, it is a true piece of information, right? You said there's a time, there's a statistic to the time to when it starts and the rest. Because according to the Bible, it says God created in the morning, start in the morning, rested in the evening, second day, morning and evening, right? All right. So the days that was being talked about inside the Bible, how do you interpret the days? Like, is the days, does it mean that it is 24 hours, or it is just a symbol, or it is just a literal saying? I don't know if you understand my question. Okay, let me break the question down. It says, you know, in the creation, it was not. We believe that God did his own creation for 6 days and rested the seventh day, right? So this the days that was included there, the days that was in the word days that was injected in there, how do you interpret it? Does the days means that, yeah, it is 24 hours, maybe God worked in the morning and after that 24 hours God rested, or God used 12 hours out of 24 hours to work to create? Because the Bible says in the morning, in the evening, in the morning, in the evening. How do you interpret the days that are there? Is it just literally 24 hours, or just a symbolic way of just us understanding that he didn't do it everything in a day? Yeah. All right. All right. Sunday. Uh, yes. Saturday. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Thank you very much. You've done well. So let's go to the question two. What is listening for general impression? What is listening for general impression? And somebody should give us one Nigeria example, just one Nigeria example that we can relate with. Oluwadamilola, ma, can you help us out? Yes, I can hear you, ma. Okay. Yeah, you said without focusing too much on details. Is it without or focusing? I'm trying to. Yeah, because it says listening for general impression. So is it without? Yeah, oh yeah, give oh yeah, give me an example. Give me an example that will make me understand you better. Okay. Okay. So that is what you mean by without focusing. Okay. Eh, if that is the main point, is the person not focusing? Like, I'm trying to connect them together. Yeah. Because you said not focusing, and you still said, imagine I'm listening to a radio news and I'm able to. Okay, just like listening for listening sake, not paying attention to everything that is there. That's what you mean, right? Okay. All right. Okay. 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 So let's hold on for. Of a thing, right? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, KYC. Yeah. It is procedure because that is the step. That is the step. It is a procedure because that is the rules and regulation of the company. I don't know if you other hand sure you get, a particular company has their own particular process, their own particular procedure. So it is just a procedure that you followed for you to be able to have an access to what you need to get. So it's a procedure. That is a company procedure. For an example now, a new procedure has been implemented into National University, whereas all your pending courses, all your carryover courses must be registered first. So that is not a process. Instead, it is a procedure. Yeah. All right. So, Miss Inyoluwa, can you help us out with listening for general impression? Yes, ma. Yeah. Yes. Not just the fact alone. Yeah, alone. Yes. Yeah, please do. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, Miss Inyoluwa, for the explanation of what is this listening for general impression that we are talking about. So I'm going to add to it. So we are going to you understanding just the overall meaning. Understanding just the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying. Not just you focusing on the instruction or fact alone. So let me pick from the example I gave under the instruction that I said a lab instructor is explaining an experiment in the lab. Maybe the lab instructor is trying to explain how to titrate. I use the titrate as an example there. So you trying to understand the overall meaning. You're not just trying to understand the process of titrating, but understanding having the overall meaning of what does the titration means itself. That is just you understanding the main idea of what you are doing. Okay, you are told to go and fetch water. What is the main idea of me going to fetch water? What is it meant to you? What do you want to use the water to do? You forming your own understanding. That is just the main point of this. So listening for a general impression. Oluwadamilola, are you following us? So
Yes, ma'am.
to correct it, it is not just you listening without putting mind, you able to listen to the overall meaning. That is listening for general impression. So
Okay, sir.
alright, so that's for that. Let's go to the third question that says state we have to state two benefits of effective learning in academic life. Just two benefits. If you can say more than that, no issue. But just two benefits of effective learning in academic life. Alright, Miss Inioluwa. So who can help us out? Alright, alright. So who can help us out with this? The two benefits, just two benefits of effective learning. What does effective learning add to our academic life? In your academic life, if you listen, what okay, Oluwadamilola. Thank you.
Yeah, effective learning, it helps one to be able to pick out important information, aside from actually listening a lot and remembering information during exam.
Alright. So you said it helps students to remember, yeah, inside the exam, or to actually pick up some certain things. That is the two benefit that you have for effective learning in academic life. So is there anybody that can help us out again? Any addition to that? Two benefit of effective learning in academic life. So to me, sorry, listening rather. Sorry. So two benefit of effective listening. Sorry, effective listening. All right. So let me add to this. Number one. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we are hearing you, sir. Oh. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Thank you for your addition. Okay, Miss Inioluwa. Now you are raising up your hand. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we are hearing you. Yes. 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 Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Bika. So, okay, Miss Inioluwa, can we hear you? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Miss Inioluwa. So that is a very good addition to what we've said. So all of this are everything we've said here. They are very meaningful and they are very important. Sure you get. So two benefits of effective listening. There are more than two benefits. There are more than two benefits. For an example, now I can say accurate note taking and information retrieval. If you are like, it will make you to be an accurate note taker because you are listening effectively. So you'll be an accurate note taker, and you will also possess a skill to be able to do an information retrieval because you are listening, you are able to capture everything. So it will help you to write an organized note. It will help you to identify instructions, identify facts, identify the key ideas, and to make you to be able to know that, yeah, this is when to study fast, this is when to study smart. You know, there's a difference between you studying fast and you studying smart. When you study fast for some certain reasons, maybe your exam is by 10 o'clock and you have not read anything, you have to carry your book, start reading. Yeah, you are reading very fast to meet up. At the same time, you might have that exam by 10 o'clock, and another student, instead of another student to be reading fast, to study fast like you, that the other student is studying smartly, is studying smart rather. So those two, we have those two different ways to study, and at the end of the exam, the person that studies smart, I don't know, but the person that studies smart might not even get up to the person that studies fast, and at the same time, the person that studies fast might not get up to the person that studies smart. But to me, I feel like the person that studies smart will always be able to get higher grades than the person that studies fast. I don't know if anybody is having any things to talk about in those 2 points. When you study fast and you study smart. Because to me, I feel like when you study fast, you're just doing a skimming reading. It is called skimming reading. You're just skimming, you are taking a very run reading just for you to have an idea of what is inside the course material. And when you study smart is you are not doing a skimming reading. Instead, you are taking the summarization of a particular unit. You are taking a summarization of a particular unit, taking the summarization of those units all together. While the other person is just reading fast, is doing a skimming reading of all the units. So you that have a summarization idea and the person that has a skimming idea, I believe that the person that has a summarization idea will do better than someone that has a skimming idea. So that is for that. So please, in case this video should go off again, let's try to rejoin. The time is close to 40 minutes. So let's go to the objective questions that we have. Here. So number 1, listening comprehension mainly involves dash. What does it involve? What does listening comprehension mainly involve? Is there anyone that can give us an answer? Listening comprehension. You said listening is when you hear. Comprehension is when you understand. Alright, Miss Inioluwa. Yeah, on you are understanding, and at the same time you're able to interpret what is heard, what you heard. So you understand, you can interpret what is heard. So question 2. Information retrieval means what? What does information retrieval means? Getting useful information from what you heard, from what is heard. So thank you very much. You are able to get useful information from what is heard. That is for the information retriever. So you are not just looking for what is lost. Instead, you are getting a useful information from what is heard. Useful. Let us take. So sorry for the disconnection. So let's go to number 3, the third question here. Which of the following is an example of instruction? Which of the following is an example of instruction? So submit your assignment before Friday. Submit your assignment before Friday. Okay, so that is correct. That is an example of instruction. You are given an instruction, you are given a command. So the fourth question, listening for general impression means what? You are listening for general impression, what does it mean? So you are getting the overall meaning of a message. Listening for general impression is you getting the overall meaning of a message. So let's go to the fifth question. Which of the following is not a type of information discussed in the unit? Opinion. So opinion is it is not among of everything we discussed about today. So let's go to the fill in the gap section. Let's go to the fill in the gap section. So the first one, listening comprehension is the ability to dash and understand what is said. Listening comprehension is the ability to dash and understand what is said. Thank you very much. It is the ability to listen. We are combining listening and comprehension together. So you listen, you understand. So it's the ability to listen and understand what is said. And mind you, you are writing it in small letter, everything. Listen. So another question. Information retrieval means to dash useful information. Information retrieval means to dash useful information. To what? To get. Is it gain or get? No. It's not gain. Get. What we have been talking about is get, not gain. So it is a means to get useful information. Let's use the word get because that is what we have been using since. So get. So question 3, instructions are given in the form of dash, steps and procedures. Instructions are given in the form of dash, steps and procedures. Instructions, commands. So commands, please, you have to add s, commands. So instructions are given in the form of commands, steps and procedures. Small letter or true. So number 4, direction helps a person know dash to go. So directions help a person to know where to go. That is the help of directions. So number 5, facts are pieces of information that are dash, that are true. So just true, small letter, true. So number 6, listening for general impression. Listening for general impression focus on the dash ideas of the message. No, not in the place we use overall. We use overall. No, in the place we use overall, we use overall meaning, not overall idea. But it was in the other main idea. So it is main idea, not overall idea. So listening for general impression focus on the main idea of a message. So number 7, a good listener should take dash during a lecture. Yeah, a good listener should take note. So instead of writing note taking, they use take before the note. So it's just a way of switching the question. So take note during the lectures. Yeah, it is not note, it is note, like you are putting an S. So students should take note. A good listener should take note rather. So number 7 and number 8, the process of linking ideas together helps form a general what? General impression. So when you're able to link ideas together, you are forming a general impression. So number 9, shifting cultivation depends on population dash and location. We didn't really talk about this, but it is part of the example I give that the lecturer said. So A shifting cultivation depends on population, worth, and location. Just let's try. Under this one is under agree. If you are shifting, if you are doing a shifting cultivation now, let's say it depends on the population, worth, and the location. Yeah, let's say population pressure, but let's use the word density instead of pressure. So population density and location. So that fits better. So number 10, a student who listens critically does not dash blindly. Agree, yeah, I agree blindly. So a student that listens critically, you know the word critically now. When you're able to test your thinking, if you are doing a creative thinking, is you giving out some ideas, you're giving out a good idea. But when you are doing it in a critical way, it is you testing those ideas. So an idea you've tested, when you listen critically, you'll be able to test what you listen for. I mean, what you listen to, you are able to test them. You cannot now agree blindly. Let's say you are in a class, and yeah, let me just say this. I've been with someone that during this fasting period, so we're talking about fasting, and the person has to tell me that according to their own church, according to their own stuff, Jesus only fasted for 1 day. I don't know if you have heard of that before, but the person said it. I was like, "Ow, where did you get that from?" So instead of me trying to argue with the person, I took my phone, I searched that on Google, and I showed him that apart from us reading it in the Bible, it says 40 days, 40 nights. So how did you get yours? It was like instead of him to, so we were like, show us your own evidence. Instead, you have to call his pastor on phone. That is where I was having like, guy, are you okay? You are a learned person. You are a grown-up person. We are making up. You are trying to bring something. You are trying to tell us that this is the real thing. Instead of you to give us an evidence, you are calling your pastor. Then the pastor said he's in a meeting that will call him later. That was how I left the discussion and left, because to not make fool of ourselves. So a student who listen, if you're able to, you should be able to critically analyze what you are listening to. So imagine you telling someone that Jesus fasted for 1 day, and the person was able to believe you without even like thinking about it first. So as a student, let's try as much as possible to listen critically, so that we will not agree to things blindly. Sure you understand. So that is all for tonight's class. I really appreciate those of us that, yeah, all of us here that showed up. I know one or two ways we've learned something about this listening, comprehension, and information retrieval. So this is unit 4. In our next class, we are going to another module entirely, and we are going to enjoy more of this GST101, which is the use of English and communication skills. So I really appreciate every one of us that is here tonight. Yeah, thank you very much. Is there any question?
Please, the only question I wanted to ask. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, ma, I can hear you, ma.
The question I want to ask is actually is I don't know maybe there's a I
Yeah. Okay. So instead of you waiting for Math 105 class from your facilitator, carry your textbook, carry your pen, carry your jotter, carry your calculator, sit in a place that is quiet, and solve it yourself. Yeah, that's nice. Abi. So okay, for the group, right? So maybe you're not the one that, maybe you're not, maybe your student email is not on your phone. So try to open your student email on your phone so that you'll be getting those link class, or join the group, so that they'll be sending you the link from the facilitation directly, so that you'll be able to join. So, yeah, so just try as much as possible to get yourself connected, so that you'll not lag behind. All right. So let's call it a day. Let's have a lovely night rest. Please pray before you sleep. That's very important. Yeah. So All right, bye.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.